rain during the Great Tribulation. And I think we have this backwards, and our understanding of the verse is in fact backwards. So let's kind of walk through what I'm meaning here. And specifically, the word rain is not used that often. It is in the New Testament. It is extremely rare to see it. The word for rain is eutos, H-U-E-T-O-S. It's only used 5 times. So, and in that, the only time we see it in Revelation is as pertaining to the 2 witnesses. And I think this gives us a great clue as to some issues here. So, but let's kind of walk this through. The 2 witnesses should be in the spirit of Elijah and Moses. Okay. John the Baptist was the spirit of Elijah. So, you know, it doesn't have to be the exact person coming back. But one of the things as the 2 witnesses have in Revelation 11 verse 6 is they have the power to shut the heavens off from rain. And I think when we look back at Elijah, we realize it's actually flipped from that. So let me kind of explain that for a minute. One of the other times that it's used in the New Testament is in James 5:18. Again, in James 5:18, he's talking about Elijah and shutting down the rain for that 3.5-year period. I hope you can see 3.5-year period of time of the Great Tribulation, or more specifically the time here of the time of the 2 witnesses, 3.5 years. And in James 5 verse 17, Elijah was a human being even as we are. He prayed earnestly so that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the land for 3.5 years. And in verse 18 again, he prayed and the heavens gave rain and the earth produced its crops. But when we go back and look at 1 Kings 17, we actually get the exact flip side of this. Because when Elijah stopped the rain, what he did is in verse 1, now Elijah the Tishbite was a prophet from the settlers in Gilead. I serve the Lord, the God of Israel, Elijah said to Ahab. And here's where it gets interesting. As surely as the Lord lives, no rain or dew will fall during the next few years unless I command it. So we think of them commanding the rain not to fall, but in reality, the rain's not falling until they say, okay, I'm going to allow it to fall. It's the flip side of that. And we have to remember that rain is actually seen as a very good thing. So when we look at that, we actually go to Acts. And in Acts 14, verse 17, yet he has not left himself without testimony. He has shown kindness by giving you rain from heaven and crops in the seasons. He provides you with plenty of food and fills your hearts with joy. So rain is a blessing from the Creator. Is he going to be pouring out blessings on the world when he's pouring out his wrath? I don't think so. Except for those people who have, his blessing, which would be those on the Exodus. So for them, rain should be falling. And from that, we actually go back to Isaiah 4 and Psalms 68. And we can also look at Psalm 77, same kind of thing. But in Psalm 68, he starts talking about the fact that when they were doing the Exodus, God was raining things before them. He was placing rain down before them. Through verse 7 through and 8, and I'll just start with 8. Actually, I'll start with 7. When you, God, went out before your people, when you marched through the wilderness, the earth shook, the heavens poured down rain before God, the one of Sinai, before God, the God of Israel. Verse 9, you gave abundant showers. You refreshed your weary inheritance. And it keeps going about the aspects of rain. So we see that. Now, if we go to Isaiah 4, the covering of the Creator while we're on the Exodus is this in verse 5 of Isaiah 4. Then the Lord will create over all Mount Zion and over those who assemble there a cloud of smoke by day and a glow a flaming fire by night. Over everything the glory will be a canopy. So that canopy will be a shelter and shade from the heat of the day, and a refuge and a hiding place from the storm and rain. It should actually say driving rain. So that's protecting us from that rain, unless of course we're on the outside, which we should be inside the camp during time as being at Mount Zion, or specifically I would say even Mount Sinai. But on that, does it sound like there's going to be rain around us, that he's going to be blessing things around us? Because if we have animals, they need to eat, and he's going to provide springs for us for water. But I would not doubt at all he's going to provide the rain around us to bring up the grass so that the animals that are with us would be eating. It's just, again, a different way of looking at it, that it looks like during that 3.5-year period, I don't think there will be rain other than around us, which is kind of interesting.